yourself. This is how you have to protect yourself. They need to be trained on how to use PPs, on how to report incidents, on how to do an investigation. So that's built and sustain a very good culture when it comes to our health and safety. Also, reward safe behavior and reporting. If there's anybody like sexual harassment, so this is very common. Maybe people in environment or their workplaces, they have these issues where they are being harassed, but because they can't talk, or when the person talks, it's likely to lose his or her job. So as HSE personnel, we have to encourage people that if you are able to report that this person is being harassed, this person is going through this, HSE comes in to solve it where the person can work in a safe environment. So these people who report and put up safe behaviors, they make sure that they are working according to the HSE protocols. We need to give them incentives where they are always encouraged. And then we also have to encourage open communication. People who come front to give their opinion on certain safety standards, we have to encourage them and establish a transparent reporting system where everybody feels free. Like you can just, if there's an HSE manager, anybody can, the HSE manager should have an open door where people can come and then inform him about certain things. He too, he can relay certain things to the employees where there's always safe and then transparent environment for everybody. Moving on, please. So role of management and then employees. So like I said earlier, management provide resources. They set policies and lead by example. So if we need certain resources to, they can help us with tools, maybe financially, they can support where we can get things that will make everybody have a very safe and sound working experience. And employees need to also follow procedures, report risks, and then support each other's safety. So we always say that you are my keeper and then I am your keeper. If there's an issue which can lead to an emergency or an accident, and then you correct me on that, you have saved me. Likewise, I can do vice versa. And if these managers or leaders set rules, compliance sets rules, HSE sets rules, we as the employees, we need to follow whatever that they tell us to do. We are going, there's maybe a fumigation, and then you've been told that please put on this protection equipment, or please, there's a fire drill, descend rightly, don't use staircase, don't use the elevator, gently use your staircase and then exit the hole. Many of us feel lazy, and then who knows, by following all these procedures, it all leads to our overall well-being in our workplaces. So these are major rules that require of us. So now, a simple HSE initiative is that a manufacturing firm reduce incident by 40% through safety workshops, regular audits, and then recognize. So with all these training, with all these motivation, workshops, training, making sure that we do drills, making sure we constantly fumigate our environment, in a way, we are reducing the rate at which there could have been accidents. Every day there's a near miss. Every minute there's something that happens that could have led to something serious. But because we think that, oh, I'm in heel, I'm in boots, which fall will I fall that can lead to certain measure. But by doing the little cautioning signages to show where the staircase are, how this, that, we end up reducing the rate at which incidents could have led to an accident. And then we always don't have to wait till there's a major, like the stampede that recently happened. Maybe this is not a near miss. This is actually like a one-time accident, which maybe if they had probed to know what measures where we could have put place, this, that. It couldn't have led to that major fatal accident. Okay, so we have to take our workshops, our trainings in our offices very, very seriously. So last is the challenges and then solutions. Now, if we are in an office and we are not getting financial support, we are not getting managers to have general meetings with us where they educate us, we end up like, this is when we get reoccurring incident reports, reoccurring hazards, reoccurring many things. So when there are insufficient management support, like training, maybe they can get a very experienced person who can come on safety moments and world safety days or world environment days. These managers can bring personnel who can come and educate us, or come and tell us the importance of planting trees, the importance of what's it called? The importance of certain safety behaviors. If we get these supports from management, we we end up reducing the rates at which we don't know what to do in the future to bring a safe and a sound environment. Now, lack of awareness. If we are not even aware that this open machine can lead to an explosion, it becomes a challenge. It end up being leading to an accident, and then resistance to change. Right now, we said we have to move from this procedure to this. And then employees, some of us are very, very stubborn to the extent that they do not want to change certain health and safety procedures that safety personnel or officers bring on board. So when we refuse to do all these procedures, wear a boot, and you see some people wearing certain things, you may think that it's not anything major, but for all you know, it can lead to a very serious problem. Now, how then do we solve it? I've mentioned over and over that we have to have continuous training, clear communication, and then measurable safety goals, which can lead to a very safe and sound work environment. So we are finally concluding and that safety culture must be lived, not just enforced. You see, we have to change our attitude. There are certain habits that we need to do to stop accidents. If we do not change, it won't work practically. So we have to live every time we are in your workplace, you have to be safety conscious. Safety is not just about how best you perform, or if you are the best performer in the office and you don't do what is required of you. Let's say you are the best driller on the rig. If you don't wear your PPEs, if you don't wear the helmets, if you don't protect your ears and you fall, you can't be the best driller. Do you understand? So when you live the conscious safety attitude, it will there will be a safe occupational standard in our workplaces. Now, everybody has a role in protecting themselves and others. It's not just the HSE manager. When you see something, you say something. You don't wait for your managers to draw their attention that there's a wet floor. You, as a finance person, you can also tell what's it called, a cleaner or someone who can help take away that water. Because if you are not falling, it doesn't mean that someone may not. If you end up protecting others, you end up protecting yourself. And then lastly, a strong HSC culture brings a strong and then more resilient organization. If we are all in a very safe and sound workspace, I don't think everybody will not like to work in that workspace. So I think that will be all. So I would encourage each and every one of you to have an attitude of safety, an attitude of change, because safety is very, very key. It's not just about how best you work, how good looking you present yourself when you're going to work. If you are safety conscious, that's when you see something and then you feel like it's not right. It's not like you feel, you know that this thing there can lead to something. If you change our attitude towards work and we follow health and safety procedures, the protocols that safety personnel or the guidelines that they put out there, if you follow, it's going to lead to a very safe and then provide or promote your well-being at work. So I would encourage everybody to have a strong HSE culture, and because it's a journey, honestly. If that requires commitment, if you're not committed, I don't think you can do. So commit at all levels of the organization and then prioritize occupational health and safety. We are not just protecting lives, but then we are also building a foundation for sustainable success. So I'm very grateful. I think I've spoken in my time given, and I want to say thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, I'm here and I'm all ears for you. Thank you very much, Kelvin.
Thank you so much, Ms. Resina. That was excellent, concise presentation and very practical. It was in such a way that all of us could understand what you were saying. So thank you so much for that. And so we'll go into a time of questions and discussions. But in the meantime, there's a link in the chat that participants can give us feedback. Yes, so that link has been shared in the chat. Okay, so now if you have any questions, you could use the raise hand icon and then we'll give you the opportunity to ask if you have any contribution. So I think I want to go first. I have a question.
Okay.
So I've in like certain discussions, it comes up that and it maybe look like a stereotype, but it says that the culture in which we live in here does not make us safety conscious. And so it's like, okay, we will go to work, and then at work, we're forced to do certain things. We're required to do PP, required to do a risk assessment, all of those things before you work. But then if at home I need to invite, let's say, let's say an electrician to my house, I don't care whether he has a certificate, he's certified to do that work. And so that makes us like it translates to work. Then when it comes to work, it's like we don't really live safety as you said, right? And so my point is, how do we bridge that where the culture we live in is not safety oriented, and then but we have to come to work and then do these things. How do we reconcile those two?
Okay, so I don't know if I got your question, but thank you. So if you are safety conscious, Kelvin, if you are safety conscious, what you implement is like Ghanaians, we don't implement certain, we are not safety oriented here. But when we go to a certain place, come what may, unless you want to lose your job. And then right now we are in this area of AI. AI has come with time. You see, time is moving. And then if you, the person, an individual, if you don't upgrade yourself, time is going with AI. If you don't move with that time, you wouldn't even know at some point, you wouldn't know what the time is. So if the orientation that we impose at work, if there's an invitation for an electrician who comes, you don't need to get the, what's it called? See his certifications before you, when he comes to you, you have to make sure that you are there with him. Let's say he's working on a bulb. Me, if you're coming to work in my place and then you don't protect yourself, I won't let you work. Do you get it? So if we are safety conscious, maybe they themselves, they are focused about the incentives that you're going to give them without thinking about they themselves. So you as a person, you can encourage them the way you are being encouraged at work. Do you understand? You can just transfer it to him so that it leads to a safe. Because if something is to happen to him or to you or in the house, it affects you. So if you are just going to act like, oh, when I go to the office, I'm going to listen, and then when I go to my house, whatever comes should happen, it doesn't lead to, it's not a nice culture. It's not a nice culture at all. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any other questions? So I have another one. So in trying to get people to comply with the safety system, you would mostly give incentives for people who are acting safe. How about the reverse of that? How about punishing those who don't those who don't take safety seriously? Is that also one way that you can build a safety culture?
So both of us have been trained, but one chose not to adhere to the protocols. I think you are being penalized. You see, if there's an observation card that goes around, and then you, let's say there's a sexual harassment being spread that Kelvin is being sexually harassed, immediately the HSE personnel will have an investigation and then speak to you. If you need to be moved from that victim's environment, you'll be moved. Do you understand? So people, if we are rewarding people who are safety conscious, we also, not seriously, but deal or correct or train people who are refusing to adhere safety protocols. Because if we are going to be emotional about safety, everybody on the rig will die. Everybody on the construction side the building will just collapse. Do you understand? So in as much as we are rewarding people who report or people who follow procedures, people who refuses, we talk to them, we make sure that they are adhering. If they are refusing, it's either you can't work with us or something, because let's say we are building a construction, everybody needs to come in a helmet. We are working on the 8th floor, and then we are down through 1 to 7, and then you can't come there without a reflector, you can't come there without a helmet, you can't come there without boots. It's either you descend or you get the necessary procedures.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Reach out to this relationship in that bush. So
Yes, I see that in the chat. I was going to
yes,
just ask if you could share maybe like your LinkedIn or a way we can reach out to you so that we can follow up
okay.
on that.
All right, so NEBOSH is a UK-based organization. They train personnel, they give recognized qualification. You see, in many companies, if you don't have NEBOSH certification, you can't work with them as an HSE manager, HSE advisor, assistant. So you have to get books, you have to be trained, and you write the exam. When you pass, you get your certificate. So you can reach out to me personally. How to get it? You need people who train. If you want to be personally trained, you get the resource books that you can prepare yourself for the main exam. If you qualify, you'll be certified. I don't know if my question is answered. Your question is answered.
Yes, thank you. And so maybe you can also just put in like your LinkedIn. Is it the same name? Is that how we can find you on LinkedIn?
Yes, please, Joyce Lina
Okay,
Boachiwa.
okay, all right. Ifwa has a question. Ifwa, please go ahead.
All right, thank you, Kelvin. And thank you, Madam Joycelina, for a precise presentation. Okay, so my question for you is that as a NEBOSH trainee, do you think only HSE personnel should get the NEBOSH certification, or any other interested person can get it as well? And then my second question for you is that how do you ensure your personal safety knowing that the people that you are working with have a very poor safety attitude? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I forgot it. So with NEBOSH, NEBOSH means National Examination Board in Occupational Health and Safety. So it's not always environmentalists, engineers, health and safety. You see, many companies, we even do reshuffling. IT ends up in the legal team, IT ends up in the HSE team, and then we are reshuffling. So we don't leave it just for the health and safety people. Even if you are in the whatever unit that you are in, you need to be safety conscious. You see, you can just get your NEBOSH certificate. It's not to go and apply for an HSE managerial position, but to be abreast with the idea that I know what is wrong when it comes to safety. In some future, if you end up I know people who my friends used to work with Fidelity. Now, many of them are in EPA. So if you feel like it's not for you, you go into an environment and then you don't even know what's happening. You are not conscious about certain things. So if you are conscious about it, it will help you and the people that are around you. So NEBOSH is never for just HSE people. You see, many companies they don't even require NEBOSH to give you a position. NEBOSH is to just get the certification that you are safety conscious, that you are certified that in any organization that you work with, if there's an issue, you can identify a hazard, you can perform a risk assessment, you can conduct an investigation, you can have legal responsibility. So it's not just for health and safety personnel. Now, next question is, me personally, if you're not safety conscious, I can't work with you. We've indicated that you are in the lift. You see, we have rails in the lift, or we have rails on staircases. Many people, once I was with someone and then we were descending the stairs and then she was on her phone. So the way the person fell, but then there was a reel. So when she was on her phone, I was like, Charlie, hold the reel in case of any incasity. But because this person was just adamant, and then when she fell, I can't just leave the person there. I ended up helping her. If you refuse to be safety conscious, you put yourself in danger and you put the other person in danger. So one is either we are, I want to give a practical scenario. Let's say we are in an organization. We need to protect ourselves. It's either you don't come up or you go and put it on and come. Did you get it? If you are going to a theater and you say that you won't wear your overall, you protect your, like this cap that the doctors wear, you don't put on a nose mask, you put on the gloves, you can't come and do a surgery. Do you understand? You're going to have infection, you're going to even infect the person you're going to cut. So it's either you're adhering or we can't work with you respectfully. So everybody is humbly encouraged. Safety is very, very important and very critical. Something small will lead, I don't know, what's the name? Hyper diaper explosion that occurred many years ago. It was just an oil spill. We thought that, oh, this oil spill will not explode. By the time we realized, it has become a century history. Do you understand? So we always have to be safety conscious. No near misses and near misses. Near misses are serious because these are things that least, if you lose your, I know engineers who don't have fingers like this. It's because they thought that they are not, nothing will happen. Wear your gloves, oh I won't wear. Wear your gloves, oh I won't wear. Even in mechanic shops, where to put hammer. You can't put hammer on a bonnet when someone is under the car. Oh, the hammer will not, nothing will happen. There's a toolbox. Just respectfully put it in the right place, because if there's a small shake of the car, the hammer is just coming down to fall on the eye, on the head. on the knee of the person below. And this is a major threat. Please, so nothing is too small. If you feel you can't adhere to procedures, you end up leading to a major fatal accident. Thank you, Ifwa.
Okay, thank you. So I see Rich Love's hand is up, and so this will be the last question for today. So, Rich Love, you can go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Joycelyn, for your presentation. I want to add up to Ife's second question about working with people who are not safety conscious. I'm given a scenario. You see, you may find yourself in a certain environment, okay, and the people around you may be very safety adhering and conscious, but because there has not never or for a period of time there has not been any major incident, so people are accustomed to complacency, like they've not seen an incident before because you may be in an industry where for the past 5 or 10 years there has not been an serious issue. So um maybe, for example, if you are in a gas plant and you hear some noise or an unusual noise, you have to be curious. You have to go and find out what is going on. But for a period in a long time, you've not seen anything. Oh, the noise is normal. For all you know, it may lead to something else in the future, a day or two. But because you've not seen something like that, it was you brush it off. Okay, so when you are working in an environment like that where you just see things as normal and you don't mind, you don't know what is adding up or accumulating. Okay, so when you are in such an environment, it may not be you but the people around. We have been complacent or accustomed with,
Yeah.
oh
We are
yeah,
used to the environments that nothing.
exactly.
Okay, so there's always one day for everything. You know, so we are in a workplace and we are not wishing that there'll be a collapse of the building. We all don't wish that. But if drops of water makes an ocean, then small ignorance or small complacence or small, but after all, I'm wearing my PPE. After all these small, after all, one day there'll be a problem and you may end up never being able to work again. You may be totally, permanently or temporarily disabled. It may not seem practical. You see, one thing about accidents, with a near miss, it takes time. It will take time. It will even be common to the system. Like it will work hand in hand with the system. So you may think that, oh, nothing, but it will surprise you that this thing that you belittled is going to cause a very serious stress, and then you or your colleagues will end up not being able to work. If you have a bad reputation, if a company sanctions you that, oh, due to your certain ignorance or your certain mistake, you can't work with a certain company again. Please, you get it. So I understand that we've lived in our homes where there's never been an exploration. So there's no need to get a fire extinguisher. Please do get a fire extinguisher. I know you put the gas on well. I know you do everything well, but always be safety conscious. It's an attitude though. It's a practical attitude that you need to personalize. Because imagine you drill and something hits your head, you can't work again. Something is to cut your fingers. I know many managers in GMPC where their hand is cut off. Why? Because it was just a little. So we always say that familiarity leads to disrespect. I think that you are always familiarizing yourself with this thing cannot happen, this thing cannot happen, this thing cannot happen. One day it will happen practically. So let's not be comfortable. Comfortable zones are always the bad zones. Near misses, it's always near misses, unless maybe it's destined to happen. It's all these near misses, all this little incident that leads to an accident. So let's not say that we are okay with the system. There's never an incident going to happen, so we are not going to have a positive attitude. Always be safety conscious. Even if there's nothing on top of you, wear your helmet. Something can fall, and then it will surprise you that it's not a matter of being careful. Just follow the procedures. What you need to do, you do, and then you are safe, and your other colleagues are always safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I guess well, yes, thank you so much, Jocelyn, for attending to our questions and contributions. And thank you all also for participating. So we'll move on to a few announcements. So there's a call for mentees, and this is especially a good opportunity for young professionals and students who are seeking mentors. And so please, you can scan this QR code or you can check on our platforms, our social media platforms, to find more details on this. The deadline for application is next week, Friday, so encourage us to apply. Also, a few upcoming events. So today, as we celebrate International Men's Day, let's celebrate with SPE at 4:30 p.m. today. There'll be a session to celebrate men and boys. Also, next year, 2026, for the Ghana Biennial International Summit and exhibition happening on the 20th to 22nd of May in Accra here. So let's mark that on our calendars going into next year. All right, so now I would like to call on Tracy, who's the Deputy Student Liaison Committee Chair, to give us the closing remark. Okay, so I think Tracy is not on the call. All right, so then I'll just go ahead and do that. So I want to thank, first of all, our speaker, Ms. Jocelyn, for taking the time and for accepting to come and lead this discussion with all of us. We appreciate your insights and your knowledge that you shared with us today. We also want to thank the SP, YP, and student liaison committees for putting this together. And I think for the last 4 sessions, we've had really insightful discussions, good discussions, and we thank you for putting all of this together. And to all our participants who have joined all our webinars up till today, and who have stayed throughout this webinar and contributed, we appreciate your time, and we hope to see you in all our upcoming events and webinars. So thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you to everybody. And thank you, Ifwa, and thank you, Kelvin. Please have a good day too. Bye.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Welcome. Bye.